Hi, and welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, June 3rd of 2025. I'm Gio Benacourt, and this is a recording done by Vantage Markets at about 40 minutes prior to the USA session open. Well, sell America. That's the hot summer trend. A weaker dollar is the most visible sign of an aversion toward US assets, but the bond market is the potential trigger for a bigger crisis. While stock markets rally sharply in May, the dollar is off to its worst start to a year ever. More worrisome, the greenback correlation with bonds, where higher yields typically attract foreign capital, has broken down. Markets look to be pricing in significant risk around U.S. government debt. President Trump's tax bill is expected to increase budget deficits by $2.7 trillion through 2034. Although the administration insists that that will be offset by revenue raked in from tariffs and improved growth from tax cuts, markets are skeptical. And with speculation of a crack in the bond market coming should have investors worried. The market can see dollar weakness as a cloud with a silver lining. At least it makes U.S. exports more competitive, but endangering the U.S. Treasury status as the world's default risk-free asset is a much bigger risk, as it raises borrowing costs worldwide. And with hurricane season kicking in of this month, it could be a stormy summer for the bond market. With that being said, let's take a look at what we can speculate in the markets. Let's begin by taking a look at the Nasdaq. So we are in a daily candlestick. Let's go down. Let's do some different scenarios today. Let's go down for a 4-hour and see where that 4-hour has shown us. So in the last hour, we see that the market has been obviously trending higher. Now in this scenario is retracing, basically making almost a double top here throughout. That was yesterday's trading. So in the London session, we did fluctuate lower. Now let's break this down to an hour and see what the last hour has been doing. And we see that the market had that rally, and this last hour has been in the red. So let's break it down to half an hour, and then in this hour, let's do some tightening of our levels of resistance and support and see where we could come in and speculate that will be in the next half hour. So we want to be able to look at the first hour of trading when the market opens, right? So in this half hour, we have been fluctuating to the downside after actually recovering, but then how much more of a lower momentum can we speculate to see in the market? So therefore, if we have, let's just follow some rules. Let's use the moving averages as possible levels of support from this scenario. Let's leave that right there as a first level of resistance, and then 21,580 as our second. So in the half hour scenario, we're seeing how the market did fluctuate to the upside. In this last half hour, this would be profit taken. So let's speculate that as the market fluctuates lower towards the 50 moving average, which is the yellow line, the market could rebound from here and reverse that movement. So that's for the as far as the Nasdaq goes. Let's take a look at the S&P. So the S&P, let's go out to 4 hours, see what's happening. We did have strong momentum in that 4-hour candle. So let's just bring up our levels of support. Now resistance, we need to obviously move a bit higher because we have fluctuated above that. Let's go down to an hour. All right, so let's go down to, let's bring up our levels again using those moving averages as level of support. Half an hour. So in this half hour, we can actually come in and tighten up our levels. Let's use 59.50. All right. So the market in this half hour have already fluctuated lower and is pulling back. So how much of a pullback this is? Again, this could be profit taken. All right. So we did see a rally to the upside in that half hour increment. Dow Jones, let's go down to 4 hours. Okay, so the 50-day moving average has already done its job in that 4 hour. Let's go down to an hour and see what's up. All right, so let's just tighten up our levels. Let's use the upper Bollinger Band, half hour. Doing the same, basically the same scenario. So let's just use that swing low from the last half hour and then use this. Now this could also, obviously this could be met real quick. So actually I'm gonna do the moving averages, and then that was the upper Bollinger Band on the hourly, 42,360. And I'm gonna just use 42,330 for the Dow. I'll also just, because it was rallying, RSI is below 70, neutral zone. All right, let's take a look at crude oil for hours. It's completely outside our levels, so we placed yesterday. So we need to look. So it's a strong, that 4 hour candle, strong move to the upside. We see that momentum to the upside in the hourly candle chart. So half hour will be in the red since we're retracing. So let's use the intertwine of the moving averages and $63 as possible first level of support. 63,600 and then 64 psychological value. Due to obviously geopolitical uncertainty continuing, let's see if we'll have another leg up during the US session. Nat Gas, let's go down to 4 hours. Also just fluctuating to the upside. Well, actually more in the red, right? So it's giving back some of that momentum that they had yesterday. Let's take a look at 1 hour. So again, I'm gonna bring it down. Half hour. So it's been an hour. Now in this half hour is retreating. It did fluctuate lower. So I'm gonna use 338 and then just tighten it up to 350. As far as resistance, I'm gonna use that 50-day moving average and that swing high from the previous half hour. So right now it's recovering. Let's see how much of the recovery will it do. Gold is down to 4 hours. So we are below yesterday's levels of support, and this 4 hour chart, let's just bring down our levels. Let's take a look at 1 hour. So basically, after rebounding off the lower Bollinger Band, it seems to be picking up a bit to the upside. So let's go down half an hour and see that momentum being built. So upper Bollinger Band again, 33.75. I'm going to leave the same levels. I'm actually going to tighten up that first level support. So right now, the market is between the medium and the lower Bollinger Band, but above the 50-day moving average would act as a dynamic support level. Let's take a look at silver per hour. Ooh, it's completely outside. So let's just bring up these lines. Now let's go down to an hour. In this hour, it had seemed that it did fluctuate below the 50-day moving average and rebounded, looking strongly to the upside. So therefore, this is the medium and 34,100. I like to use just round numbers: 34.50, 34.60. See if that will be nice momentum to the upside. So buying. Go down to 4 hours. Ooh, the 50-day moving average is pretty much above the market in this 4-hour chart. Let's go down to an hour. Now, the reason that I'm going from 4 to 1 hour is just to have an overall look at the market strength, how tall the candles are, right? And just grasping numbers, values that where the market had rejected. So in this half hour, we see that the market is basically sideways, making an attempt at an upside move here. So let's see if we're able to, in this half hour, using the moving averages as a level of support, Bitcoin for hours. It's pretty much flattish. You see, let's go down to an hour. Let's continue to be flattish, tying up our levels. 30 minutes. So the moving averages are intertwining. What I'll do here is bring up my first level right up there, and then the lower Bollinger Band. I chose this level because it's basically where the 50-day moving average kind of was pointing lower and then rebounded and started moving higher. So that is a point of inflection. Now, as far as resistance, the upper Bollinger Band, and then 105,800 psychological round values. The euro. So we have ECB looking to cut interest rates. So we have a move lower in this time frame. So we need to bring our levels lower. So in this 4 hours have been a strong momentum to the downside. And this hourly continues in that direction. Let's take a look at half hours. So we need to obviously come in here and I'm actually going to leave the same levels of support as we have here. So trending lower, selling. Take a look at 4 hour for the pound. Also trending lower. Let's go down to an hour. How much of that momentum is still alive? It's pretty much alive. Then they just go down to half hour. And we have plateau, we have consolidation in a way. So see how our levels coincided mostly with the moving averages. So I'm gonna bring up towards the lower Bollinger Band, and then I'm gonna leave that 134,800 ish. Dollar index is recovering. So let's just use the 50 moving average and bring this puppy down to this 30 minutes. It is overbought. So a small pullback could be perceived. So we must be like in having a choppy day today. All right, that's it for me today. Have a great trading day. I'll see you tomorrow.